Today's video was going to be all about how you can come to the Gulf Islands National Seashore for $1.
And now there's a different story.
Hey guys, my name's James.
And I'm Ashley.
Last year we sold our house and we're traveling across the country with our kids.
Hi, my name's Goose, and this is Maverick. Come join us!
We were young and we were free and running, never bothered about what could be coming. Every day we danced and life was smiling. We were young and drunk in love. A few years later I have started thinking, if it's just love in every glass I'm drinking, we're like one and without you I'm sinking. I'm always shining next to you.
Good morning guys, welcome to day 2 here in the Panama Beach. So this was our campground last night. I think you guys saw it at sunset, but we're literally just by the side of the road here, right next to the dog beach, and we walked up and down here. We looked at all the signs, we looked online, and there is nothing that said you are not allowed to camp here. So I am assuming in the peak summer seasons that this place is packed, but last night we were literally the only ones here, and because of that we were nervous. We're like, are we gonna wake up with a ticket on our dashboard? Are we gonna get a knock on the door at 11 o'clock at night saying we have to move? But nothing. We've been here for almost 24 hours now. We have not moved. Now here's the tip. We did not unhook. We purposely stayed hooked up to make it feel like we were a little bit more temporary, even though we were here all night long. And I don't know if that's what saved us. I don't know if they just didn't have any patrols last night, or if you're actually allowed to be here. But we didn't see any signs posted and we had no issues. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that if you can fit in this, 100-yard stretch, they'll probably, you can probably fit 5 or 6 RVs here. I bet you that this is one of the few areas you're allowed to park overnight for free right next to the beach. Okay, here, sit on my lap. You wanna vlog with me real quick? We had a shoe mishap. Okay, hold on, don't tip me over. But enough about that. Today we are going to Fort Pickens, where we're gonna get to walk around, explore the old fort, learn about history, probably see some more beautiful beaches, but hopefully, sorry, she's kicking this in, but hopefully just have some fun. You ready to go? You ready to go? Bud, are you ready? Are you ready to go?
Oh, Dad, look.
What?
Right there, right there.
Look at that. One of the downsides about parking here is we had to pull far enough away from the road that we could put our slide out and still feel safe, which means we're this far right side is a good 10 to 15 feet off the side of the road, and the sand gets real soft over here, as well as really unlevel. This side was way lower. So we did 2 things to try and help with that. First off, we got out our big, huge 8-inch Anderson cans. I don't really know what these are called. Anderson leveler kits, basically, where they just stay magnetized on there. And the funny thing is I would say this back right jack had the most weight on it because it's probably the lowest point. And because of that, and the sand was so soft, this thing was buried, I would say at least halfway in the sand. We just lifted it up now so it's out of there. As you can see, we can pop it off. But this thing got buried so deep. And then we also, as you can see, put down all of our Lego blocks under these tires here to help keep this side from sinking in and to lift it up a little bit. Even with doing all that, our trailer was still a little uneven, but not so much that it was uncomfortable or things weren't functioning inside. Now, if we didn't have both those Lego blocks as well as the Anderson barrels, there's no way we would have been able to do this. So definitely make sure if you are coming here, either be comfortable with being on level or have enough Lego blocks to keep you level. And I don't know if we would have been able to do this if we didn't have 4-wheel drive, or unless we had a lighter rig. Our rig is heavy enough. We're at about 12 to 14,000 pounds, depending on how much stuff we have in here. And normally our truck pulls that no problem, but on this soft sand, when we were digging in, our tires started to get buried all the way up to the rim before we pulled up on these Lego blocks. So it was putting a lot of pressure on the truck. I did feel it slip a little bit, so I switched it to 4-wheel drive and we had no problems. But just be aware of that before you come here. The sand is soft the further away from the road you get. With that being said, now we gotta pull out of here. This is something that we were a little bit nervous about, but as long as I keep up my momentum, I should be more than fine. Anything's in here.
More stairs.
Let go! Oh, we're up even higher. So this base, very echoey. We're going up to the very top of our first base. This is pretty crazy. Can you imagine? I can see why this is a good base though, because you can see out all the way along to the seashore from every end. Yes.
I think I know another better view.
Okay, let's see it. She's got a better view, Mom.
Got it.
Holy moly, you can go up even higher.
Holy guacamole. We'll stay here.
What's wrong, Mom?
I do not
Some narrow steps.
Yeah. No, we'll see.
So guys, those right there used to house giant 12-inch mortars, cannons. Ridiculous. And they could fire something like 700-pound projectiles 7 miles out into sea. That's crazy. Can you imagine the sound that would make in this echoey area? What do you see, Gus?
A turtle. See that black?
Is it snapping? Like Louisiana, or what kind
I
of?
don't know.
Gus, what is it?
It's a turtle. I can actually see its back.
Oh, that's a big one, actually. That's crazy. I've never seen a turtle like that in the wild. I've never seen them swimming, that is. I've seen them perched up on logs and things, like when we were at the plantation in South Carolina or wherever. But he's literally swimming right underneath us. And I think that's a snapping turtle. Comment down below, let me know. Is that a snapping turtle? Because I know that they're prevalent in Louisiana, and I'm assuming since we're so close to it, that it would be the same kind. But just look at him swimming, that's awesome.
They get food. Oh my goodness, it's like he's looking at us. He says, hello. It is staring at us.
Nah, what do you see? He's probably waiting to get fed.
Probably.
He's probably so used to people coming here that he's like, all right, what's for lunch today?
Gosh, look at his tail. It's like fuzzy.
Oh, it is.
Dad, his tail is fuzzy.
It looks like
I
a
think it's got moss or stuff
dog
going
or
on.
cat tail. No, it looks like hair. Is that a dinosaur?
It does have a
Oh.
sharp beak.
It does look like a dino. It's probably as old as dinosaurs, isn't it? I know that turtles were back then. I don't know if snapping turtles were. That is one giant canyon. How would you like your job to be back in the day, loading these mines with high explosives in a rickety old building like that with probably very limited safety protocol? That would be terrifying. Oh my goodness. It's crazy to think about primitive warfare. It's insane. Snack time!
Snack time.
You guys hungry? Can I have some, Matt? Can I have one? Thank you so much. That was nice of you.
Would you like something?
Can I have some? This? You guys, this is unheard of. Both my children just gave me snacks.
Amazon.
And my wife. Oh my goodness.
Your
Thank
wife
you,
gives
ladies.
snacks all the time. Oh, you want to?
All right, let's go into the dungeon.
Our children are trying to kill us all.
Not creepy at all. I can totally see socks and complaints down here, Mom. I want to see you go. I just want to see you for scale go into it. You don't have to go all the way through. Go ahead, go.
What? Go.
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 Watch out for the drops. No!
This place is full of random little tunnels like this that lead to nowhere. I wish I knew what they were for. But there was nothing down there but another little cubby.
You take Daddy to that.
All right, next tunnel. Go ahead, go.
No, ma'am.
I'll follow you. Go. This is crazy, and the floor is not level, guys. Is it a dead end?
Yep.
So what are these? This must be like storage for something. I don't know.
Back.
Oh, gears. Ugh. Not exactly the most spacious of environments. Do 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 do. What is it?
Straight dead end.
Straight dead end. You put your light up there. Oh, it's just dug it out. That's really odd. What's out there? Fresh daylight. Freedom! Like I said, this fort is full of random things. Like, what's the point of this hole in the wall? It's just at the end of this tunnel. And then there's just this 10-foot hole back here that almost looks like it was dug out. Because look at how rough this brick texture is. I don't get it. That would be the cool part about doing a tour at a place like this, is because you would actually get that information. You'd actually learn what all this stuff is for. Because right now we're just kind of guessing at what everything was. There's these stalactites hanging from the ceiling and in here, and I can only assume they're from the saltwater air collecting on the walls. But I wasn't quite sure enough to taste it. Because I don't want it to be like sulfur or something, but it's just this white crystallized stalactites hanging from the ceiling. It's pretty cool.
This was added on in, like, I think it said 1898, so early 1900s, because enemy fire was able to get through the brick that they had.
You can see the old barracks back there.
Yeah, and so they had to reinforce it with something more sturdy that could keep out enemy fire, which is crazy.
And there used to be a gun here that fired over 1,000-pound projectiles 8 miles out. So this location has been, in my opinion, even more epic than the last one, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just me?
pretty.
Because you can literally see the waves crashing on the beach. Me and Goose were out there all afternoon playing in the water. Oh, she had so much fun and she got so filthy.
But then all of our plans kind of came to a screeching halt, and we have a little story to
We
tell.
got a little knock at the door.
So let's go in and talk about what happened.
So we are in one of the parking lots right along the beach shore, as you can see. Now, normally we wouldn't park in parking lots because most every single one has signs or
Well, and
things.
especially like beach shore parking lots, because they're normally pretty busy.
And they always have no overnight parking signs. We looked all over this parking lot. We looked online for reviews. We looked at different websites. We were trying to see things. We did not see a single thing that said no overnight parking. So we're like, you know what? Let's go for it. And you know what? The first night was amazing. We were here all night, never got a knock on the door, woke up to this beautiful beach. It was actually blue skies this morning, unlike the gray nastiness you see out there. And then, like I said, this afternoon, all that changed. And we get this knock on the door, and the Apollo starts barking and barking. And so I try and get him locked away, and we walk out there, and all of a sudden I see this cop. It actually looked like a cop, but as I got into it, I realized he was a park ranger. Nothing against park rangers. They are awesome in what they do.
We've met a lot of great ones who have been so fun with Goose.
But I was just not happy to see this one.
Well, yeah.
He was super nice. He was not mean or rude or anything, and I was totally cordial with him, talking about how, there was no signs, so we didn't think there was any issue with it. He said, I'm not going to give you a ticket, which was kind of like, well, I don't know how you would give me a ticket, because there's nothing. I didn't break any rules. There's no signs here saying no parking or anything. I didn't say that. I was just thinking that in my head.
So basically he told us we had to be out by 7:30. Actually, he made James do math, and he told him he had to be out by 19:30. And so we were just sitting there going, okay, it's no big deal. There was no major confrontation, which was nice. The one thing that we thought was interesting is when James told him that we looked for signs everywhere, we looked online, we did our due diligence.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to break any rules. And
there's nothing worse than getting a knock on the door at 11 o'clock at night and having to pack up and move when you have kids asleep.
Yeah, that and you just want to follow the rules. And so we looked... I want to follow the rules. And so we looked everywhere. We looked at all the signs, every place that we stopped. And not one said no camping, no overnight camping, no anything. Apparently, they take down the signs after summer.
It's like,
and they don't put it up
when it's
until
not
spring.
peak season. I don't know if the signs are the no overnight camping signs, or if the signs are just no RVs in these parking lots, because all those spots in the summer months are full and packed throughout the most of the day.
These have not even been close to being
this parking
full.
lot's wide open.
And that's also why we took the far end. We tried to be as out of the way as possible.
So it is. So I don't know what the deal is with them removing the signs and why they do that. But he's like, yeah, the signs aren't up right now. I was like, okay. Long story short, we're packing up. We're heading out. We're gonna go just across the bridge to the other side of the island to what's the Seashore, Breezeway, Sea Breeze. To the city right up over there, where there's a Walmart where we can camp for the night, and then from there we'll figure out where we're going. But
because we have to wait for this man's.
I'm excited. We have our new merch coming in, and I had it shipped to the UPS store here because I thought we were going to be here for like a week. But I guess we'll have to figure out where we're going from there. But other than this one little mishap, which really wasn't that big of a deal, we were able to do the entire Gulf Islands National Seashore, Gulf Islands National, oh my goodness.
We were able to do Gulf Islands National Seashore.
And Fort Pickens, and the Dog Beach, and just kind of look around for $1. That's pretty stinking amazing. I was so stoked about that. And I was actually hoping to do it for $0, but we couldn't really avoid the toll. That's kind of there. Anyway.
And I was excited that it was only $1, so let's be happy about that. But while it stinks that we were told we can't stay, at least we got to see everything and do all the things.
We checked everything off of our list that we wanted to do while we're here. We were just planning on staying another night here because it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you come here in the off season like we did, this place is wide open. There's tons of street side parking, tons of parking in the actual Fort Pickens as well as out here. This place is amazing. If you come in the summer months, I've heard it's a little bit more difficult to navigate your RV, so that's when you might want to consider actually making a reservation at the park. But if you come in the off season, you can totally do what we did and just kind of move every few hours and never unhook. It's not convenient. You're definitely RV parks, you definitely pay for that convenience factor. Like if we would have been able to pay the $40 a night to stay at Fort Pickens campground, it would have been so much more convenient. We would have had hot showers every night.
I am gonna take the credit here or the blame or whatever. I'm too cheap to pay $40 a night for
it was partial hookups. It's true. So we still would have had way more convenience. It would have been able to unhook. It would have been much easier. But there is something to be said about trying to do this lifestyle on a budget, because if we were paying $40 a night everywhere we went, we would be broke. We couldn't afford it. We did get a tip from the park ranger that the boat dock on the far east side of town, like 20 miles from Fort Pickens, they allow you to stay there. They don't really patrol it or police it. In the off season. They don't really do that. So if you wanted to try that instead of doing what we did, that might be a more secure route. We just really love the fact that we were able to be right on the beach. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay positive. Get out there. Life is an adventure. So
get kicked out.
And then make some memories.